Hey there, ever feel like you're studying for hours, but nothing's sticking? Like you're putting in all this effort, but your grades just aren't reflecting it? Yeah, I've been there too. But here's the thing, studying harder isn't always the answer. What if I told you there's a way to study smarter, to get better results in less time? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, stick with me, because today, I'm sharing 3 study hacks that will not only save you time and energy, but also help you ace your exams. Let's dive in. Before we get into the hacks, let me ask you this. Have you ever pulled an all-nighter cramming for an exam, only to blank out the next day? Or spent hours rereading your notes, only to realize you can't remember a single thing? Trust me, you're not alone. The truth is, most of us were never taught how to study effectively. We just kind of wing it. But here's the good news. Studying smarter isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So, what are these 3 life-changing study hacks? Let's start with hack number 1, active recall. Okay, let's talk about active recall. This is hands down one of the most effective study techniques out there. Here's how it works. Instead of passively rereading your notes or highlighting textbooks, which, let's be honest, feels productive but does almost nothing, you actively test yourself on the material. Think about it. When you're rereading, your brain is like, oh, I've seen this before. Cool. But when you test yourself, your brain goes into overdrive, trying to retrieve the information. And that's where the magic happens, because the harder your brain works to recall something, the better you'll remember it. So, how do you do it? Simple. Use flashcards, practice questions, or even just cover up your notes and try to explain the concept out loud. The key is to actively engage with the material, not just passively consume it. And here's a pro tip. Don't wait until the night before the exam to start testing yourself. Do it regularly, and you'll be amazed at how much easier it is to recall information when it really counts. Now, let's move on to hack number 2, spaced repetition. Ever heard the saying, cramming doesn't work? Well, it's true. Your brain is like a muscle. It needs time to absorb and retain information. That's where spaced repetition comes in. Instead of cramming everything into one marathon study session, which, let's face it, is exhausting and ineffective, you spread out your study sessions over time. For example, if you're learning a new concept, review it the next day, then a few days later, then a week later. This way, you're reinforcing the material just as your brain is about to forget it. And here's the best part. Spaced repetition actually saves you time in the long run. Because you're reviewing the material at the right intervals, you'll remember it better, which means less last-minute cramming and more confidence going into your exams. So, grab a calendar, schedule your study sessions, and let your brain do the rest. Trust me, it's a game changer. Alright, we've made it to hack number 3, teach what you learn. This one is my personal favorite because it's so simple yet so powerful. Here's the idea. When you teach a concept to someone else, you're forced to understand it deeply. You can't just skim the surface. You have to break it down, explain it clearly, and answer questions. And guess what? That process solidifies the information in your brain like nothing else. It's like your brain is saying, oh, I really need to know this if I'm going to explain it to someone else. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what if I don't have anyone to teach? No problem. You can teach an imaginary audience, your pet, or even just explain it out loud to yourself. The key is to verbalize what you've learned. And here's a bonus. Teaching also helps you identify gaps in your understanding. If you can't explain something clearly, it's a sign you need to revisit that topic. So, grab a friend, a stuffed animal, or even your reflection in the mirror, and start teaching. And there you have it. 3 study hacks that will help you study smarter, not harder. Let's do a quick recap. 1. Use active recall to test yourself and boost memory. 2. Try spaced repetition to study less but remember more. 3. Teach what you learned to deepen your understanding and fill in the gaps. Remember, studying isn't about how many hours you put in. It's about how effectively you use that time. So, give these hacks a try and watch your grades and your confidence soar. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more tips, and let me know in the comments which hack you're most excited to try. Thanks for watching, and remember, you've got this.